Hey there, in this video we're going to discuss benefits of mulching your garden and 4 ways you can get it for free. Check it out.
Using a wood chip mulch helps build soil structure. In Tampa Bay, we have straight sand in our yard, so it's important to start building a good soil structure early in the garden. As this mulch will get broken down by insects, fungus, and other decomposers, it will break down into great organic garden soil. So this is the native soil, and this is after 1.5 years of the wood chips. And here you can see the mycelial network breaking them down. After the decomposers break down the mulch, the nutrients stored in them become available to the plants in your garden. The mycelium feeding on the wood chip not only increase the nutrients available, they also improve water efficiency and promote root growth by adding oxygen to the soil and releasing nitrogen, phosphate, and other micronutrients.
Another reason you would want to use wood chip as mulch in the garden is that it will suppress any weeds that you have, so the nutrients that you feed into the garden will actually go to the plants that you want instead of some weeds. But it's also good to know what are weeds and what are actually beneficial plants for in the garden. Something else that a wood chip mulch will provide to you would be temperature regulation. So if you see here, we took an IR thermometer out to the garden and on a sunny patch, and we took the temperature, and it was 109 degrees Fahrenheit. We then pulled back the mulch layer and took the temperature again, and it dropped 11.8 degrees to 97 degrees Fahrenheit. And then something else a wood chip mulch will provide for you is moisture retention. So whenever you water, the wood chip will retain some of that moisture and slowly leach it into the ground instead of it just evaporating with the sun during the day. So now that you know about the benefits of wood chips, you're probably thinking, well, where can I get it? I can recommend 4 different ways that you can get wood chips for free. It only depends on how much effort you want to put in and how much volume of the wood chips that you want. If you want a small amount of wood chips, like a back of a truck load, you can sometimes contact your local yard waste facilities. A negative though of doing that is that you have to go and haul the wood chips yourself and load them, and you get a limited amount, but it's free and you can get a small amount. If you want a larger load to maybe do the whole garden, we did I think 5 truckloads. If you want to do a larger load, there's 3 different ways that you can get that for free, and we'll rate them based on how much effort and the quality of the wood chips that you get. The easiest way that you can get wood chips but you won't get the highest quality is to sign up through ChipDrop. ChipDrop is a website that works with local arborists because arborists have to pay sometimes to drop off their wood chips at the yard waste facility, so they'll drop it off your house for free. So ChipDrop will get you in contact with different arborists to get you those wood chips. Some negatives though is you have to get a whole truckload, which is 20 cubic yards, which is humongous. Sometimes through ChipDrop it'll take 1 day to 5 weeks. We've registered for ChipDrops at 2 different times, and also our parents who have a food forest, they sign up for ChipDrop twice and were unsuccessful in ever getting any chips. Another negative also with ChipDrop is that they will put different stuff in the mix that they will provide to you, like logs and palms and stuff like that. You just want to make sure that on there you tell them you don't want any palm trees. Another way that you can get a large supply of wood chips for free is to contact the local energy company. Like we have Tampa Energy here, and every year they'll go around and they'll cut the trees, the power lines, and you can hear their trucks in the distance. So we've been most successful doing that. So we'll hear them and then we'll put our name on a note card and go find them in the streets and then come say, hey, come drop us off the wood chips whenever you get finished, and they had no problem. That's pretty much how we got most of our wood chips. So sometimes they'll have a mixture because they're just randomly cutting whatever's on the line, so you get a medium quality, I would say. And the last way that I can recommend will be to contact local arborists in your town. We did that and we had the best luck. Our arborist made sure that we only got the best trees, and they had the most beautiful oak in the cuttings. He made sure that there were no palms, no seeds, or anything else. Although in the long run, it doesn't matter really what's in there as long as you have a little bit of mixtures of greens and browns. It doesn't matter, but I would highly recommend that you have no palm trees, as you can see here, because when we did get a load that had palms in it, not only was it really difficult to move, now that the seeds have now germinated, we have little palm sprouts everywhere. We have to go around the garden and try to pick those up.
To prepare your yard, you need to cover any grass or weeds. You do not want to use any synthetic cover. You can get a thick paper like this called builder's paper at Home Depot, which will break down naturally and not leach toxins into the garden. One final note, request no palms if possible. These long fibers made it difficult to move and spread. Although they broke down just as easily as the other trees, we would still recommend requesting no palms just to make it easier.
One last note about adding a wood chip mulch to your garden. Whenever you wood chip, you want to make sure that you have a thick layer to suppress those weeds and all of the benefits. So ideally you want to get it 6 inches to a foot. It's important to note that whenever you're planting with a wood chip mulch, you are not planting inside of the wood chip. You're gonna have to remove all of the wood chip and plant inside of the soil. The wood chip is simply a ground cover. If you see behind me, these plants look nitrogen deficient, and that's because we had an oak tree removed here before we planted the garden, so there's wood chips in the ground. We knew that, so that's why we planted nitrogen fixtures and such around. If you plant in the wood chips, the nitrogen is going to start to decompose and it's going to lock up any available nitrogen, making the plant look hungry, as you see behind me with these corn stalks. So it's just important to note, you're not planting in the wood chip. You're going to simply use the wood chip as a ground cover and you plant in the soil directly. Alright, well there you have it. Hope you learned everything about mulch and why it's important to add to your garden, and you go out and get it from free from some of those resources. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one.